Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
No, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me.
Hey! Nani. We're here. We're queer. We're back, folks, in the weird Gotham studio. Thanks again for having us, Peters.
Gotham Studios, best goddamn podcast studio in the sky.
And we just happen to be wearing the same thing as last week. What are the odds?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I called you up. I said, what are you wearing? And you said the same thing. And I said, I'll wear the same thing. And Chuck even wore the same thing.
Weird. We're in sync, periods. But I got to tell you, I'm clearing stuff out of the house because you pack all this shit. I read a stat. 80% of the things you own, you don't ever use or look at or fuck with. So, like, 80%. I've been throwing shit out like crazy. The baby's gone. I got rid of the wife. I mean, I'm just throwing things in the dumpster.
80% seems high.
I mean, think about every knick-knack, trinket, T-shirt from, hey, I went to the Six Flags in Omaha and I fucked my dad. You know, that shirt's gone.
But you got to look at it at least. I display a lot. There's some forks I don't get to maybe, or a spoon.
Forks. I mean, you got junk drawers. That's literally a junk drawer. It's full of paper clips and dildos and miscarriages.
Well, my backpack's like that because every time I go to clean my backpack, I find something that I will want at some point. I'm like, there's a chamomile tea. I'm like, sometimes in the road.
Yeah.
Or there's a stapler, and you're like, I got to staple my dick to my balls, so I'm working with Zach Amico. Or there's a Chipotle gift card, or a fucking stick of gum because you're like, my breath might stink. There's floss, so all the stuff. You're like, I need all this, but it's just a big jumbly, stupid mess.
Well, in the backpack, I'll give you, but I have lanyards from every
Me too.
Tom, Dick, and Harry I ate out, and all these things, and you're like, man, none of it. It's just boxes and boxes of all this bullshit that I have old notebooks that I'll never open again. But you feel bad throwing it out. It's like a Christmas card. You're like, I appreciate this, but I don't want to just chuck it.
Well, this is the thing, is that people they go, hey, you got to get rid of this stuff. You're a hoarder. You're a pack rat. But then when you find old stuff, the people that have the old stuff, you're so jealous of. It's amazing. Every once in a while, like we've been doing comedy for 25 years. Every once in a while, someone will show up at the cellar or post a thing. They have a newspaper clipping.
Right.
And it's like Mark Norman emceeing.
Right.
Brett Butler featuring. And, Bill Hicks headlining. And you're like, look at this. That's crazy. Like DePaulo showed me his book from like 88 one time. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's great. I'm keeping everything.
Yes,
I'm taking it all back.
Some of it, like a laminate you find, like Montreal 2008. Look at this fucking thing.
Yeah.
So some stuff you wish you had, but it is hard. In New York particularly, because now you have a big house, but if you have a house, you have an attic with all that stuff.
Right.
When you do finally go through it, it's such a thrill to have.
That's true. But you could do that twice in your life, maybe. It's like that scene in Christmas Vacation where he's up on the roof.
Yeah.
He's got the wedding dress on and the weird hat, and he's looking at all the photos. He's got the 8mm reel going.
That scene makes me tremendously emotional.
Really?
It's a beautiful film. Yeah, Christmas is watching the ones you love, and he's got the little blue thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's such a touching moment.
It is.
And now we're in the Christmas season, and just watching somebody longing for, that's really a beautiful, sad movie. This person trying to recreate and longing for the Christmas as a youth that you just can't get back.
So true.
It's that's what John Hughes was always so great about, is capturing that youth and that feeling of being kind of a lost soul and spirit.
Right.
And then once you're the adult, that's how it was for the adults when he was a kid.
Yes.
He just didn't realize it, and now he's in the adult thing, and it becomes about the kids.
And then, of course, it's a beautiful film because they end it with a punchline of his foot going through the ceiling or whatever it is.
Right. And then he uses the heat, which is another, it's like
Yes.
a punch on top of the punch.
Yes.
But he does this. He's excited to have it.
The heat.
And then there's another button where the old lady, the mother-in-law, opens the fucking thing, and he happens to be sitting on it and lands on him, which is great. That is a fucking masterful movie. John Hughes should have a bust, a plaque, a statue.
Something.
Just amazing. I mean,
tribute.
my favorite, and Ronan hates him.
Well, Ronan has no soul and no heart, and he's got Jew horns.
Yeah, it's a problem, but
So that's his issue. He's got to work out. You got to hug your dad or go to temple.
yeah, great film. I love Christmas. We should just make this the Christmas episode. I'm a Christmas guy. I hate the people that don't like Christmas. And
Jews.
now you had to deal with a warm weather Christmas that's so strange and gay to me. Now we all do because of climate farts.
Yes, I'm enjoying this November, by the way.
Oh, it's
50
awesome.
degrees. I love it.
Oh, I think it said Miss November. I was like, yeah, she's hot.
Oh, yeah. I liked October.
But by the way, we're recording this in December. But what was I going to say? Yeah, it was warm for Christmas for you, right?
Yes. I mean, we would go all out. We'd buy that weird white shit you'd put on the window just to give it that snowy glow. We had the fake snow on the tree. It wasn't great. You go outside, you're wearing a coat, you're like, oh, God, I'm hot, I'm sweating. But we got like 61 degrees every now and then, and we hit that heater on. It was a good time. We had hot cocoa. We're sweating in the living room.
You spray painted the windows, then the neighbors spray painted the outside.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of graffiti.
But we got a couple of white Christmases, and it really is beautiful to have the snow coming down.
It's nice.
And I was just telling the story to Sarah. I have a core memory. In like 2002, 2003, I would drive down to New York and do bringer shows at New York Comedy Club, the one on 23rd Street, which is all changed now.
Wow.
And it would be like a 4-person bringer. And I'd have Derek and his buddies from Kings Point come. And I would drive all the way down just to do 5 minutes. And sometimes I'd do it at Stand Up New York too. And I was on the Upper West Side. There was the Manhattan Diner, which is no longer there. It was on like 77th and Broadway. It was like a corner. And I sat outside, and the Sinatra version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And it was like a light snow started falling. Woo! And I remember getting like glassy eye because I was 20 years old, and I was like, I'm here, I'm doing it. Somehow I got the balls to drive down here. I'm doing a spot in New York.
Yes.
It was Christmas time, and I was obsessed with New York. I mean, I was obsessed with it from Woody and Seinfeld.
Same here.
And it just felt like I'm in the... Because when you're young, when you go somewhere, you're like, I can't believe I'm here.
Yes.
I'm actually in the place from the movies.
100%. Yeah, I remember moving to New York. I remember the first snowfall I saw living in a shitbox in Crown Heights. I had 2 roommates. I was hungover. I woke up early because the sun was coming in. We couldn't afford blinds. And I kicked my 2 roommates who were on an air mattress. We were so poor. And I go, it's snowing! And, one was from Connecticut. One was from, I don't know, like Denver. And they were like, shut up. Who cares? We're all, on a bender. And I remember my head hurting and be like, look at that. It's beautiful. And I ran outside and I caught one in my mouth and a black guy yelled at me. And I went back inside, but never forgot it.
Snow is fun. It's magical. We never see it anymore. It hasn't snowed in New York since 1988.
No, it rained today. That would have been snow 4 years ago.
Right. It's very frustrating. But also, I remember January 19th, 2002, the Tuck Rule game, the big Patriots Raiders post 9/11 where Brady fumbled, but it wasn't a fumble. And I was in Times Square because I did a bringer that night at New York Comedy Club. I had one of the best sets of my life. Then we didn't know any better, so we went to the ESPN Zone in Times Square.
Oh, no.
It was like me and my buddy, we were 20, and we were like, I know a bar, sports bar, Times Square, because there was no Google, there was nobody.
No.
And no one I ever knew certainly had gone to New York City. That was unheard of.
Sure.
So we went to the ESPN Zone. We watched the Patriots win. And it was a big snowstorm. And we went out into Times Square and did Snow Angels. And we were the Boston fans. It was fucking awesome. And we were drunk on vodka that I stole from my mother. It was just the best. Snow is magical, especially at nighttime.
It's funny because it's magical, it's pretty, but it's also killed people. There's avalanches and frozen body. You see the movie Alive? Those fuckers are out there in the snow. They must hate snow.
Yeah, The Shining. He's all chilly.
But when you're in New York, it's pretty great. I have a memory foam. Me and my buddies did an open mic. It was Matt Morano and a couple other guys. Remember him?
Yeah.
And I think Alex Grubard. I can't remember who it was.
Grubard.
We were all in the snow, and we were drunk, running around the East Village, and I remember I got snowball. Couple of cut-ups, a couple of kids. And I go, oh, you want to do that? You want to go? And now we're doing the snowball with randos and, getting hit. We're laughing. We're rolling over cars, trying to dodge the balls, and just a hoot and a holler.
I love dodging the balls. That's what I do at Chuck's mother's house.
Yes.
I don't know. That was a stretch. I don't know. But whatever.
So was my ball bag.
Also, another memory, maybe the same year, 2002. Might have to get a reading on that. I think it was Christmas 2002. Old Derek Donovan Walsh and I, he was home from school, and we went and saw Catch Me If You Can Christmas night. Came out of the theater, big snowstorm, so we went to Whitman Town Center, and it was late at night on Christmas morning, or Christmas night, I mean, and there was about 2 inches of snow. We had a football, and we just played football in the middle of the street, and to this day, it's the most fun I've ever had without having sex or drinking.
Wow.
And a cop came by and goes, hey, what are you guys? It was like, fucking It's a Wonderful Life. He was like, hey, what do you think you're doing out here? And we go, well, we're playing football. He goes, you think you can be playing football in the middle of the street? We were like, wow, it's Christmas. We're having a good time.
Yeah, what a douche.
And he was like, what are you bozos drinking? We said, no, I'm not drinking at all. I went and saw Catch Me If You Can, you fucking queef.
What is this, the Grinch? Get out of here, you copper.
Yeah, beat it. Bert and Ernie, by the way. It's the cops from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
Which everyone thought Bert and Ernie were named after that, but then later someone claimed it wasn't. It was just friends of Jim Henson, and he had never even heard of It's a Wonderful Life or something.
Interesting. And then, anyway, it's like when Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln, but Lincoln was shot by Kennedy's dad or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah. He ran to a bookstore, and the other guy ran to a theater.
He ran to Maryland. He was inside Maryland, Monroe. That's the big punchline. But, yeah, that shit's eerie as fuck. When you hear that, you're like, whoa, the great magnate is working.
Louis is a funny, maybe I shouldn't give away his bit, but isn't it crazy that Trump was almost shot in the fucking head?
Of course.
I mean, he was shot in the head.
He was.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and then apparently another attempt, I don't know, and he's angry about the shooter, and RFK's angry at Captain Crunch.
That must have been wild. You just hear like, ah!
He said it hurt, too.
I bet.
Yeah.
There's a bullet on his ear.
I mean, we've had this one. Ooh,
oh, yeah.
That on a cold day. That's a prick.
Now, I wonder what hurt more, Holyfield getting his ear bit off or Trump getting skimmed, because I feel like the Holyfield must have hurt a lot more. I mean, he bit a piece of his ear off.
Because you're piercing and pulling.
Yeah.
This was just a straight shot. That's like a bite down and a yank, because he went, ah.
Twice. Did it twice, by the way.
What?
Well, the first one was the one that bit off his ear, and then he bit him on the other ear afterwards.
Oh, I didn't know there was 2 ear bites.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Jeez, well, too bad he didn't bite Jake Paul. He might have won.
Yeah, boy, that was tough.
Boy, was that fight. I mean, the Jussie Smollett fight was better than that.
Well, the problem with that, now I know, now we're getting timely because this happened 6 months ago.
Well, this is out in the ether because that was the worst fight of all time. So people are still talking.
Hopefully they're still talking, but this is what was so frustrating because as you'll learn in just a few weeks with the baby, sleep economy is big. Like now, I mean, you always want to sleep and everyone likes to sleep, but you have so much less that you're like every 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 3 minutes, you're like, please just let me shut my eyes.
Right.
So that night, that fight just fucking went on, and the lady fight was great.
That was great.
And then you're like, okay, finally, it's like 12:30 a.m. You're like, finally, like the fight will be starting in 30 minutes, and you're like, you're fucking me. And they're just
midnight, literally.
They got me on the line. They're pulling me. Well, you must have been in Central Time because it was like 12:40. I felt like when it ended.
Oh, maybe it was
after midnight. And so I'm like, I should go to bed, but I've invested so much. And then you watch the whole fight, and you're like, that sucked. I just sacrificed an hour of sleep for the. It looked like he stepped in a bunch of gum.
I know, and that walkout was so sad, and he's just old and short and gay and walking over there. Then he was like crying in the corner. I was like, what do we do with this poor? It felt like Biden. It was like elder abuse.
Yeah, you gotta
biting the glove. I guess he was trying not to bite the ear. That whole thing.
Yeah, that was very weird.
He's an odd duck. That it's a win-win for Paul because you lose to Mike Tyson. Hey, Mike Tyson, one of the best of all time, living legend. Of course I lost. You win. Hey, I beat the fucking Mike Tyson guy. I'm the man. And everybody gets money.
That's true, but I also heard the opposite take of
Please,
that. The lose-lose take is if you lose, you just lost to a 58-year-old guy who's double your age.
Right.
And you win, and you just beat up a 58-year-old guy.
All right, well,
you're kind of like, because I heard a lot of people going, this guy's a poser idiot. He's just fighting elderly men who are way past their prime.
Right.
And if you lose, you're like, this is crazy. You just lost to an elderly, past his prime guy.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's still Mike Tyson, because that's the reason we watched the fight, because you're like, it is an elderly man, but it's Mike Tyson.
Right.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have cared.
Isn't it weird, too? That's like, he could just beat the fuck out of us, though.
Tyson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just one punch to just fucking end your life.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel very surreal? It feels like some weird Roman shit where, like, let's put these two idiots together and have them battle it out, and we'll have celebrities in the crowd. And it's the same with the John Jones fight in the Garden, where he gives Trump the belt. He bows to Trump. It felt like Gladiator or something. The best fighter gives it to the emperor, you know?
Is there anything crazier in the history of the universe than the turnaround on Trump? Like, 2 years ago, it was like, oh my God, Trump. And then this guy, the champion fighter, is like doing the Trump dance.
The NFL guys are doing it.
And that's never been cool. That's what's so weird is like the president has never been cool in that way.
I guess JFK, who was also shot in the head.
But if JFK was like, I guess he'd be on, like, the Rat Pack did like benefits for him and stuff. But like, I don't think there was a time where, like, the champion of the world would be like, that's right, I'm the champion. It's just so crazy to be like, me and this guy. That's how popular he is in this group. It's fascinating.
And then, like, 2 years ago, you couldn't say you liked Trump. Now people are like, fuck you, I love him. And there's a booth at LaGuardia of MAGA shit. How crazy is that? Yeah, there's a MAGA stand.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, more power to him.
There you go. But I'm just saying, it's you're right. It's flipped.
A lot more power to him.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I like a good fight. A fight is such a fun sporting event because the anticipation of these two guys fight. If I could go back to any event in my life, or in the history, I would go back to March 8, 71. Ali Frazier won at the Garden. That would be my Valentine. I mean, that two undefeated champions, both with a claim to the title.
Yes.
In their prime.
Yes.
Arguably, Ali's a little past his prime. He had to take some time off. But, like, Madison Square Garden, who's going to win?
Yeah.
And then you have, like, the light-skinned guy versus the dark-skinned guy, the conservative guy versus the liberal guy, even though they weren't those things necessarily. Right. But that was the take.
That was the take. And Ali's funny, too. In interviews, he's saying funny shit. You ever see the Schwarzenegger clip?
Schwarzenegger clip.
He's
with
on
Ali.
some late night show with a guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's the pumping iron guy." And he's like, "What'd you say?" He goes, "Schwarzenegger." He goes, "Watch it, buddy." Like he's saying,
that's fun.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
and he's being funny. He's a funny guy.
Funny guy, but he kind of ruined Joe Frazier's life there. But
oh, really?
Well, he was calling him a monkey and an Uncle Tom and ugly.
Ugh.
And what was so crazy about it is that he's an Uncle Tom. But Joe Frazier's like anything but an Uncle Tom. He's got like it was interesting because Ali had like a white trainer. Frazier had a black trainer. Ali is sort of lower middle class. His parents were like, I think, like
sharecroppers
teachers or something.
Really?
Not teachers. No, I'm thinking of Dave Chappelle. They were something.
He's a Kentucky guy.
I confused my Muslims, but converted Muslims. But anyways, I think he did a little better financially. Joe Frazier was like dirt poor,
right,
and a little less educated, but Ali kind of framed him as this Uncle Tommy guy.
Maybe there's a little projection going on there.
I guess so, but he controlled the narrative, as they say.
Well, he's like a politician,
and he's a gorilla, and I'm gonna get the gorilla, and he had the rubber gorilla, and he's like punching him.
Oh yeah.
And Joe Frazier was like, "What is this?" And Joe Frazier actually helped him get back commissioned again. He lent him money, took care of him. And Ali was like, "I'm trying to sell a fight."
Damn, poor Frazier.
Yeah.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
And Frazier had that great line on Howard Stern, like 20 years later. He's like, "Look at both of us. You tell me who won those fights." It's pretty funny.
Because of the Parky.
Yeah, the Parky.
Damn.
Parky and
the brain?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
fucked up brain.
That was a stretch. Oh, yeah. Twitchy.
But yeah, so he said all those things, and but then that kind of made Joe Frazier the conservative guy because Ali was against the war and protest and went Muslim, so all the hippies kind of were on his side.
Interesting.
But what a great show. There'll never be a sporting event quite like that again.
I don't know. know. I mean, we're in a big era of sports, don't you feel? I mean, it's like WNBA. Never mind, I take it all back.
But yeah, like just that thing of like this guy represents this guy represents that, this guy shouldn't be fighting. And a lot of people, I think, were like, Frazier's gonna shut him the fuck up, which he did in the first fight. And we're gonna show that guy he fucking dodged the draft. Frazier's gonna make him suck a fucking dick, this guy.
Right.
And boy, did he ever. You ever see that knockdown punch? It is really something.
You know what was another big one is the Max Schmeling.
Schmeling and Joe Louis.
Joe Louis, yeah. So what is that, the 40s?
Yeah, I think that was
post-World War?
Right around that. It was right at the beginning of World War II. It might have been 38, 39, because the Nazis, because he was a German champion.
German fighter. And it's a lot of racial bullshit going on in America, but then yet we're all rooting for this Afro-Americane. Joe Lou to win this thing, so it was a lot, and all the black people got to rise up and go, that's our guy. He's doing it for America, even though America fucked us. He's going to save the day and beat the German.
And he knocked the fuck out of him.
Did he?
Yeah, he killed him.
The Max won.
Oh, is that right?
And then I think, give this a goog there.
Well, I think Schmeling had been champion at somehow for some way, but I think I come up with gangster-ass shit like every single day. But, yeah, he smacked him around and beat him in the third round or something like that.
It's funny to think in the 30s, you kind of were like, as a white guy, you're like, we got we won. We're the best. And then you see these black athletes come in, you're like, that must have taken a couple years of like, maybe they are pretty good.
You ever watched the SNL sketch that Michael Jordan, the first black Harlem Globetrotter?
Oh, that's
a classic.
One.
It's great because they're just 5 white guys just passing the ball, just doing chest passes to each other. It's very funny.
That's funny.
Max Schmeling
versus Joe Louis.
Schmeling, Joe Louis.
I only say that because there were multiple fights, so they must have had a loss and a win in there at some point. Then a tie break.
And then Lewis had fought in the war. He's like, that guy's a real hero.
Crazy thing, everybody served. Like Mel Brooks was in the military. Every fucking Tom, Dick, and Anal. Then Elvis had to go. Muhammad Ali had to go.
Right.
We made you hit that army.
Yeah, Israel still does that.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank God that draft is over. That's terrifying. When I was a kid, I was so scared of the draft.
Same. Hate the draft beer.
I would have gone to the Air Force. That's what you do. If you're getting drafted, you just go, give me the Air Force.
Why is that? Now you're up in a plane.
Well, plane is scary, but you're not a grunt. You're not in the grass and the mud and the shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Air Force, you're running a risk, but it's better than the Army or Marines, certainly.
I wanted to be the phone guy. You know, the guy who pulls up to the battle later. He's like, hey, it's crazy out here. Someone send some more people. I'll be in a cave hiding.
But that guy's scary, too, because you don't have the gun on you. You got the phone.
I like a phone. I can text. I can tweet.
I know, but you can't fire back. Now you're going, can you hear me now?
They can't give that guy a pistol? Nothing?
He's got a pistol, but he's got to take the phone call.
That's true, but I'd be doing this shit.
No, it wasn't that kind of phone. It wasn't an AirPods. It was like you had to crank it and hold it.
It was a rotary.
Yeah, it was exactly.
I see. They had a big backpack on it, too. The phone required a lot of mechanics back then.
You were like a Ghostbuster.
Right. What do you got?
Alexander Graham Schmeling.
I got no mic.
Huh?
Oh, you want us to read it? Toss it over there.
Oh, sorry.
You can't read that much words.
It's like a paragraph.
Why did Max Schmeling and Joe Louis fight twice?
Sounds like a street joke.
Because, all right. For starters, Max had stopped Joe Louis in the only loss Joe suffered in his first career.
Interesting. Now, what happened there? Why did he beat? Because I know he beat the shit out of him the second time.
In 1936, with the backdrop of Nazi Germany and Hitler, the number 2 ranked contender and former heavyweight champion German Max Schmeling, boy, he must have gotten zinged as a kid, stunned the world and beat the number 1 contender and rising superstar Joe Louis. The number 1 and number 2 contenders fought in order to force a mandatory title order from the National Boxing Association at the time, the only official sanctioning body. Blah, blah, blah. Louis was 10-1 favorite to beat the former champion, Schmeling, but Max, one of the first fighters to use film to study his opponents, had noticed Joe carried his left low and dropped it after jabbing, leaving him open to counters. Max countered with a hard right. The entire fight finally stopping the Brown Bomber in the 12th round. So he did win.
Sounds like Lewis. But then the second fight, though, he took care of business.
Yeah. But boy, what an event.
Brown bomber sounds like Lewis. Nothing.
Oh, I was
big.
confused because of Joe Lewis.
Ah.
So you had too many Lewises going on.
A lot of Lewises.
You had two-us.
Joe Louis, Jay Gomez.
There we go.
Oh my God, this chair is going to go any second. They spared no expense on the chairs back here. You got to be shitting me. They spent all their money on printing out
Posters.
a fat-faced Joe List.
Yeah.
Boy,
Look
that
at
is
that.
a tough face.
That's a lot of neck and jowl.
Yeah, I mean, my lips are missing. Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's a real photo. There's no doctor in there.
No, it's doctored. Let me see this thing.
Call a doctor.
You got to be kidding me. What's this from the 80s?
Well,
the lips, the teeth. What a mess.
You're a comedian. You're not supposed to look too good.
Yeah, well.
Keep that one down, though.
Don't worry about that happening.
There we go.
Anyways, let me tell you this story. Speaking of wanting to fight people.
Please, fight me.
I had one of the all-time... Bobs are rare these days, don't you think? Well, not in the world, but in our comedy
not in
lives.
Gaza. Yeah.
Well, I did the Fat Black Pussycat. I've been going back to the cellar, and I might be done. I mean, I did the Fat Black Pussycat Bar.
God. Oh, the bar.
A lot of syllables. The bar is tough. Sometimes it's good. Low bar.
None. Bar mitzvah.
Bar Harbor. It's just...
I passed the bar.
Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it stinks. It's like life. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes it rains. I do a set, and I'm hanging out. My niece is there. She's hanging out. She wants to come by. She's 19 years old.
Pace?
Aha. Exactly. PU.
Ah.
Just thought of that. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, PU.
I remember the first time I said PU to you, you've never laughed harder in your life.
PU.
PU's great.
I've been using it.
You said somebody's name, and I said, oh, PU. And you fell on the floor laughing.
PU is good. I mean, I do it whenever the wife walks in. It's a good time.
Oh, boy. Anyways, so I'll never forget it. We were in my kitchen. You were like, oh, I just watched someone's special. And I went, oh, PU. You fell on the ground. I've never seen you laugh so hard.
Big fan. Big fan.
Tuesdays with Stories is brought to you by Shopify. If your online store looks like garbage, people aren't going to order stuff. It is that simple. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shopify's Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning less abandoned digital shopping carts and more sales. Your commerce platform needs be wherever your customers are. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Gymshark uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Tuesdays. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Tuesdays to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Tuesdays. And Tuesdays with Stories is brought to you by Hims Hair. No man wants to lose hair. It's very common, but the solution is now simple. Hims. Be a man and join the hundreds of thousands of Hims subscribers who got their flow back. Hims gives you access to a range of hair loss treatments that work all from the comfort of your own home. Start seeing your hair grow back in as little as 3 to 6 months. That's nothing. Choose between oral treatments, spray, or serum options to find your favorite. You don't need insurance, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/Tuesdays. That's HIMS.com/Tuesdays for your own personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/Tuesdays. Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Back to the show, baby.
Anyways, so I bring my niece, which is embarrassing because your niece, you want him to look up to you, and she had just gone to town hall. That's the other thing about this story. I did town hall on Saturday. We talked about it.
You're up here.
1,400 people or whatever it is, 1,200 people. And literally the best show of my whole life, which I say about 12 times in that video. It's embarrassing. But I'm saying it to different people.
You said it about a show at a bar last week.
But you left it in every take, because I say it to 9 people, but when you cut it together, I look like an asshole. But everybody's just hearing it once.
Right.
Whatever. So this is comedy. This is what
is it.
keeps it grounded and humble and humiliated.
Roller coaster.
You do roller coaster of love.
Bombs.
You do town hall and you think, I am the greatest comedian there ever was. It's unbelievable. I should be a billionaire. Pryor can blow me. Carlin can eat me out. I'm number one. Then Tuesday comes around. I got a spot at the Fat Black. I go, time to start working it out, getting back into fighting shape. Bring my niece. And it's one of these ones you're chatting. I'm hanging out, talking shit with Jordan Fisher, Ian Lara. Love those guys.
Good eggs, non-threatening blacks.
John Fish is emceeing. Legend where I come from. One of the greats.
I love the fish. Smelling.
Love the Max Schmeling. Love
P.U.
Fish. I mean, Fish was the guy, bar none, when I started, and he's
Still
a
great.
killer. One of the best comics, and we talked about it, the best host at the Cellar.
Easily.
But you ever have this thing where he goes on, and you're all chatting backstage, and you go, blah, 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 and after a while, you're like this. Why don't I hear laughs?
Yes.
What's going on here?
That's my act.
And so you start. You go, hold on a second, and then you kind of,
Smelling.
and you go, there's just nothing happening.
Yeah.
And you pull back the curtain, and it's Fish, and he's working it, but they're all like this.
Oh, you got the Krauts and the foreigners and the frogs in there.
Just tough sledding. So I go, well, whatever, I don't know. And then Ian Lara goes up, and it was up and down. He got rid of the mustache, thank Christ.
Oh, Jesus. Finally, that thing smelled weird.
Yikes, that was bad.
P.U.
Smelled like Mabel. But so I go, all right, well, he's doing okay. And then his last couple minutes, he kind of got him.
Okay.
So I thought, and you have this thing, you have this hubris, you go, I'll get him. You know what I mean? Fish went up cold. That's cold fish. And
Yeah.
Ian, he started to get him a little bit. I'm going up third.
Sure.
This will be a cakewalk.
Cakewalk, you're a hot off town hall. You got 7 specials in the can. You're golden.
I should put this set on the Patreon. I mean,
Wow.
flop sweat, no laughs, not a tee-hee.
Not a ha?
No one said ha. I'll tell you what someone said. Next guy.
Shut up.
Swear to God.
Whoa.
Christ on Christmas. My balls on the Bible. A woman over here, stage left. Next guy.
Wow, she should be tased for that. That's evil.
I mean, I was blown, Jerry. And Louis C.K.'s there.
Ah!
My niece is there.
Ah!
Fish is there. All these people, these idols of mine.
Yeah.
And I go, that was rude.
Rude, hurtful, and cunty.
And she goes, sorry. And I go,
Sorry. What
I
is
go,
she, a Canuck?
I go, yeah, what are you from Canada? And she goes, how'd you know? And I go, because your stupid fucking accent or whatever. And I go, where are you from? And she goes, guess. And I go, no, shut up, you idiot. Where are you from? And then she goes, Vancouver. And I was like, Vancouver sucks. Hastings Street. I love Vancouver.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
But I'm like, Hastings Street, you homeless bitch. And then I go, yeah, the fucking Bruins beat the Canucks in the Stanley Cup. You twat. You all rioted. And she goes, what year was that? And I go, 2011. And she goes, well, that's 10 years ago, And I go, actually, it's 13, you dumb cunt. And
Yeah, Vancouver.
yeah, fuck you. And then now I'm just like, but she's won. I mean, she yelled out, next guy. I can't come back from that.
That's pretty good.
Well, I did this. I went, I've seen the lineup. It's not getting better, sister.
No, now you're trashing the other guys.
I know. It's not going to come off, and Ricky Velez is going up. And I'm like, I didn't mean it. I think you're great. But yeah, it was rough. And I came off, and everyone's just like, it's that thing where nobody wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Everyone's like this, pretending to look at their notes.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That
Oh.
bar is a 7th circle of hell. It's a vacuum of comedy in there. It stinks.
It was rough. And I've done that thing where you pretend you didn't hear. You're like, how was it? I wasn't listening from right here.
Yes.
And then the lady tried to grab my arm. She goes, hey, I'm sorry. Grab my arm. I go, don't fucking touch me.
Good for you.
It was fun. And Louis was like, that was awesome.
Whoa.
And then I go downstairs to the VU, blow the roof off the tits. And my
Good.
father was gay. And I'm like, thank God, because
Yes. And
all
on
the
a
same
high.
jokes, by the way.
Isn't that kooky? That's stand-up in a nutshell. It's so fucking frustrating. I always say the basketball goes in the hoop, it's 2 points. The same jokes, different score every game.
Next guy.
Next guy.
And she didn't want a woman, that's for sure. She wasn't like next girl or guy.
Yeah, all right. Well, she's got that one right.
Nobody wants to see a woman.
Wow, man, these ladies are so mean in the crowd. And you know what I hate is when you go, hey, you fat coos, blow me. And they go, geez.
Right.
Whoa. I can't zing you. You started it, you fat whore.
I know. When she tried to grab my arm and apologize, I wonder if I could have fucked her, you know?
Probably.
If I wasn't married, you know, she feels bad. That's the only way you get laid for me is if someone feels really sad and bad for you.
Yeah, that works.
You know?
What if you fuck her and you go, next gal? How about that?
I
huh?
like that. I'm going to ask Sarah if I can make love to this lady just to hit her with the next gal.
Next gal. Boy, that is mean. You're living your dream. You're up at the cellar. You're doing your thing. You wrote the jokes. You're expressing yourself. Next guy. That's cruel.
Well, I think what happened was I had a bad riff up top, and so I think they go, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Because he brought me up as doing town hall, and I came up and I said, by the way, town hall, big venue. You know, it sounds like I just did a PTA meeting.
All right.
And then that didn't get allowed, and I went, PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson.
Hey, I'm on board.
And everybody's going like this. What?
Yeah.
And I go, Paul Thomas Anderson, he's a filmmaker, and PT is, what's that called? PT board? The person was
Barnum?
like, what is that called? The parent-teacher?
PTA.
PTA, yeah, so I went, PT, is that what it's called?
PTA meeting.
Yeah, I said something else. I said PBA, Public Bowling Association.
Right.
Well, whatever. I started off bad and I ended bad. It was just, woo, it was a real pile of trash.
You know what it was? You didn't catch. Sometimes a comic doesn't catch. It's like a screwdriver. You know, sometimes you're digging around in the hole, but then when a Phillips head catches and it's really turning that screw, you didn't catch.
I love screwing into wood. It's a good feeling. You see the little shavings come out?
The Amish, they live for that.
Love a shaving.
Big fan of shaving cream. But I've been there. I did the bar. I did the lounge, which is Caddy Corner.
Yes.
Caddy Wampus. That's a fun word. So I did the bar, or the lounge, and this guy was on stage. He was a bigger comic, a large, fat man.
Fatso.
And he goes, we need a dating app for fat people. Da-da-da. That was his whole bit. And he's a funny guy. And I thought, I got the dating app name. Because, you watch the other show and you go, I can think of something.
Yeah.
So I go, I got something. So I go up, and I'm a rail, Jerry. I'm thin.
Yes.
Which is not good when you make a fat joke.
Right.
It's
like unfair.
Yeah, it's like being white and making a black joke, We're better, they're worse. So people don't like that. So I go up and I go, I got the app, folks. Weighs a lot.
Hey.
It died like Betty White on a cold silver table.
Well, it's not great.
All right. I thought I had something, and I thought it was right in the moment. They were going to go, this guy's so clever, but they just took it as a zing and an insult against fat people, and I was in the hole, and I couldn't get out.
I don't like that we can't make fun of fat people. You're disgusting. You're gross. Your life's going to end soon. Let us make fun.
Yeah, come on.
I had a bit that I thought was great. Maybe you remember it was from 38 years ago where I had a backpack on in the subway. The guy go, hey, no backpacks. You take up all the space. But I'm like, but you're fat.
I love this bit.
You're fat. I can't just tell you to
bit.
take your fat stomach off.
Right, it's too mean.
And it's mean, but I'm like, if I put a sweatshirt over my backpack and wore it backwards, if I wore it facing out, put a sweatshirt over it, you'd just be like, oh, heads up, fat guy.
Exactly.
And I'm carrying books.
Yes.
You're carrying fat.
Ugh. How about this? I just thought of this. We're thin in America. We're the minority. So shouldn't you cater to my fat? Well, don't cater. Too much catering for you. But you should cater to me because I'm the minority. I'm the lesser.
That's big.
I got something.
That is big, but
I think it's 70% is overweight in America.
But the problem you're going to run into now, there's Zoloft or whatever it's called. Ozempic. That's gonna do away with the fatsos. Which doesn't that bother you? Like we've tried hard to be fit. Now these fucking people are gonna stab themselves in the tits with a gun.
Well, I got a theory on this, and it's not gonna go over.
I know we're losing everybody because most of our fans are probably fatsos.
Yeah, big incels. So the Ozempic is a quick fix. It's a miracle drug. It stops you from drinking, eating, drugs. It really helps with a lot of shit. But you're fucking yourself in the long run because it's a quick fix. You got to learn the discipline. That's the key to life.
You need a long fix.
Yes, and I know I'm an asshole, and these people need help, and they're overweight. But how come in the 40s there was like 7 fat people? Because there was shame, Jerry. You shame the guy. You go, hey, you big tub of lard, get your act together. And then some guy will go, I want the cookie, but I'm getting ridiculed all day long at school. I'll put it down. I'll hit the gym.
Back then, though, I mean, we ridiculed Chuck. He's not getting any thinner.
Yeah, you got a point there. Good point.
But back in the day, fat people were the rich people because they had enough money to eat the thing. They had the butter with the turkey and the steaks, like Taft and the other guy.
Yeah, and rich people now are rail thin. You know, like look at Charlize Theron. She's a zillionaire. She looks like a Holocaust survivor.
Well, now they have the private cook and the chef. Back then, fat meant
trainer.
money.
Yes.
And skinny meant poor. Now fit means money and fat means poor because all they eat is McDonald's.
We flipped it. Yeah. But by the way, McDonald's ain't cheap anymore. You go to McDonald's now, you're walking out of there with dropping 30 plus.
Believe me, you. Yeah, I posted on Instagram one point a $22 value meal.
Oh, what's the point? I mean, I used to go to diners all the time with Salacuse, and you drop at $84 in there. I'm like, we had 2 eggs and a biscuit.
Well, you're telling me, Fatso. I just moved to fucking Battery Park City.
Oh, forget about it.
I mean, I go to a diner. I told you I went to diner with a friend that's a woman 2 days in a row, and breakfast $70.
It's eggs. It's 2 miscarriages and a potato.
Yes.
What's the deal? What's the deal, Leo?
What is
Joe?
the deal, EO?
Come on, motherfucker. She.
What the fuck? Get that shit out of here, motherfucker.
Come on now.
People don't like when we record back-to-back episodes, but I think this is the top. This is number one.
Tits and a half.
We're talking fights. We're talking history. We got no stories. Forget stories.
Sing it, sister.
What else you got? What else you want to talk
I want
about?
to throw this at you.
Okay, please do.
So
could you make it like 20 minutes long? I'm hitting the wall here.
I can do it. My mom, my mother.
Yes.
She
whose name? Don't tell me her name. It's not Nancy. It's not Cindy. There's
Nancy Grace.
No. Mick Jagger.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Bethany Helen
Frankel.
I know it. Oh, what the fuck is that? Rick and Morty. Bethany Helen Juicy.
Mirren. Juicy. That's it. Juicy Smollett.
Jillian. Don't tell me. I'll keep thinking. But you go on the story.
You noodle.
Helen.
So my mom likes to be involved. She's the opposite of your parents. She wants to get in there. She wants to get her feet in the sand and crunch the toes.
Uh-huh.
So she hits me up. She goes, hey, there's a magazine in New Orleans. It's one of these bullshit magazines you see at a doctor's office that no one reads that's only in New Orleans.
Right.
And she goes, they do all these celebrity profiles. Why haven't they done you? And I go, don't worry about it. Don't push it. Let it go. This magazine is silly. It's like a highlights a kid draws on, or you put it under a bird cage to get shit on.
Just forget it. Let it go.
Yes. And she goes, this is appalling. They got this guy. They got that guy. Why not you? And I go, I don't care about the magazine. You're not helping.
Uh-huh.
You think you're helping. This is a nuisance. She goes, no, I won't stand for it. I'm going to write him a letter.
And she's got some pull. She's something down there. She's got a museum. She's on the board.
That's
She
true.
collects houses or whatever.
Yes, houses. So I go, do whatever the hell you want. Leave me out of it. She goes,
Okay.
don't worry. I'll take care of it. And I go, whatever. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me again. Not a fan.
Uh-huh.
So then 2 days go by. She goes, don't worry. I emailed him. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're a hero. You should be my agent. I'm doing all that stuff. And she's like, mark my words, they're gonna hit me back. And I go, all right, whatever. 2 weeks go by, they email her. And they go, oh, we'd love to do a piece on the kid, Matt.
This is unbelievable.
Well, it's a brochure. It's a pamphlet.
This is very sweet. This is a showing of pride here.
It is, but I don't care. I get it's flattering, it's lovely, but I don't want to do it.
Shelley is really going out of her way here.
Yeah, the nice lady there, Ruth. So I go, all right. So now the lady, we email, we set up a time. She calls me. She goes, so where'd you grow up? What high school did you go to? Did you always know you were funny? And I go, I still don't know. I'm the brown bomber. And she goes, all right, I think we got it. So then my mom texts me and goes, did she call you? And I go, yeah, she called. And she goes, I want to hear everything. So now I got to call my mom and do the whole review. Hey, we talked about this, we talked about that. She goes, she didn't ask about this. I'm going to email her. I go, ah!
Cheryl.
Yeah, so that was it. So it hasn't come out yet, but I don't know. Where are you at on that?
I mean, it's hard because I understand the frustration with your parents, but I mean, my mother, like I put out a film with a standing ovation. My mother's like,
She watched it.
she watches. She doesn't say, "Oh, my tits were shaking, I was crying." The movie, she gave me a little more. Ironically, it's because it's Tom. But there's nothing. My mother would never be like, I was thinking about you, so I wrote a magazine because I want your name in there, and I'm going to make sure they portray you well. You should. I mean, that's something. She's thinking about you. She's trying.
Nice. It's nice.
I understand what you mean. It's more, but the questions and the asking and the trying to further your career and help out, that seems special. What's her name? Tell me her name. Bethany.
Close. I don't know if that's even close.
Mallory.
There's a couple letters in there that are the same.
Why can't I think of it?
You know a couple people with the name, too.
Karen.
No. Karen.
Sarah.
No.
Susie.
No.
Rebecca.
I just thought it was humorous. This is how, I hope my mom never sees this, but she shows love by, she'll be like, hey, I got 78 magazines that have comedy in it. I have the magazines here. You got to take them to New York. And I'm like, so what do you mean? She's like, oh, there's an article about Don Rickles in there on page 609. It's about this long. You gotta fly that back home.
This is so touching. Don't you see? She's reading things. She goes, I thought of you, and I thought for this. I want you to have this.
How about going, you're very funny. How about a conversation? How about a hug? This is the weird vehicle of love showing.
But there is a conversation because she asks all the questions.
Yeah, I guess, but that's a follow-up.
I guess,
it's a follow-up
but she's
about
asking
the
you
email
this
she
and
set
this
up.
and this. I don't know. It sounds conversational.
Okay.
I'm talking no questions, Jerry. None.
That is eerie.
Zero.
I got to stop saying eerie. That is odd.
Lake Erie.
Yes.
Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Superior.
Yeah, shot in the Erie.
What's the other one? Erie? I think I did all of them.
Superior.
I said that one, right?
Oh, I didn't hear Superior.
Huron, Ontario,
Octagon.
Michigan, Erie, Superior.
Yeah, that's it.
Those are big lakes.
Apparently there's 1 million lakes in that area. Is that crazy?
1 million
I
lakes?
believe there's upward of 1 million.
No.
It was 1,000.
Minneapolis is 10,000
That's
lakes.
it, 10,000.
10,000
That's
lakes.
still a lot of lakes.
Yeah.
Land O'Lakes.
1 million is quite a bit more than 10,000.
That's true. I can't compute math.
Tuesdays with Stories is also brought to you by Raycon, one of our longest running sponsors. We love Raycon. Raycon is a lover of ours. They just sent me their brand new latest earbuds, and they rule. I am loving them. Everyone on your Christmas list this year could use some quality audio experience. All you got to do is get them Raycon's everyday earbuds. With tens of thousands of 5-star reviews online, their latest model is better than ever and now features a 32-hour battery life. That's huge for me. And multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. That's awesome. I have been using these. They are better than the competition. I promise you, you cannot go wrong. More affordable. The long battery is no joke. I just flew all the way from San Diego back to New York. No problems. Had an hour-long cab ride. Didn't even sweat having my earbuds go bad. These things were awesome. My earbuds, they are awesome. They've even got active noise cancellation, which is a game changer for flights, focusing better at work, and for relaxing at your baby-filled home, which I have. Their forest green everyday earbuds are sweet, and Raycon's 30-day happiness guarantee, easy returns. Raycon's The Holidays is a no-brainer. Save big for the holidays and get up to 25% site-wide at buyraycon.com/Tuesdays. That's right, you'll get up to 25% off everything when you go to buyraycon.com/Tuesdays. That is buyraycon.com/Tuesdays.
I was at Chipotle today, and I said, what's the bathroom code? She goes, 10,003. And I typed it in 48 times before I realized she meant
1,003.
1,003.
Yeah.
Because I was like 10,000. And I'm like, this 1,000,003. It was like,
too many
Yeah, I'm
digits.
like, this is crazy. It's going to be too many sandwiches.
You know what's the problem? That's a lot of gum. The problem is those pounds. Sometimes it's number, pound. Sometimes it's no pound.
Yes.
I hate to pound me.
And sometimes it's too many pounds. I'll stop. Last
Weighs
one.
too much.
Wait a minute. I
Come
gotta
on.
come up with
That's
your
an app,
mother's
baby.
name. I know it. Rick, and your brother is Eric.
Yes.
And your mother's name is Natalie, Susan,
You're Deborah.
Deb, and Steve.
And I don't tell me your sister's name. That I don't know.
No.
Linda.
No.
Sarah.
No.
Judy.
No.
Kelly Clarkson.
Nope. Starts with
Duncan. Kathy.
Scathy. It's Scathy.
Oh, it's an S.
Wait, what the
Scaffolding.
fuck is her name? Not Bethany. It's close to Bethany. It feels
There's
like
a lot of
Bethany.
similar letters with Bethany.
Beth Ann. Beth Ruth.
Methamphetamine.
Fuck. That's a funny name. Beth Ann Fetamine. That's
It's a
good.
radio show.
That could be something.
All right. Write it down. Yeah, you talk about the 10,003. You ever go on YouTube, put this in your pipe and put it on your father's face? These man on the street videos where they go up and they go, so, how many states in America? I mean, how many states in the United States? And they go, jeez, I don't know, 100. And you're like, wow, it's pretty jarring.
I've watched a lot of them.
I'm
yeah.
not the smartest tool in the microwave, but these people are fucking retarded. They're like, what country is below the United States? We're like, Iran? Like, no, connected. You know, it's a border town. They speak Spanish, and they're like, what am I, a fucking cartographer? And you're like, no, you know what it is. People are fucking retarded.
They never heard of Texas, I guess. But
I guess so.
no, I've seen that a lot. And there's a large percentage of the country that believes there are 52 states because they think, if you ask how many states, they think it's a trick question. They think there's 50 states plus Alaska and Hawaii.
Right.
So I think it's like 18% of people think there's 52 states.
I think so. It's pretty wild. What are the two oceans on the the side of the country? And they're like, the Dead Sea and the Mississippi.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
bad.
wild.
MISSISSIPPI.
Yes.
What the fuck is her name? It's so close. I'm trying to say
Yeah,
it. I can
you're gonna
see her. I
shit.
picture her with the glasses. She looks
Yes.
like Mrs. Claus a little bit.
Oh yeah, got the red hair. I mean, the red glasses and the gray hair.
Yeah, she's hip. She's cool. She was at the wedding.
She wears Crocs.
You
she
looked
has a
it up.
big
You
blazer.
Googled it. You looked at the podcast in the museum.
I remember something specific about her full name.
Oh really? That's a little scary. A little leery. Interesting.
Well, we got to move on. People are gonna be frustrated.
Yeah, but
I'll get
she's
it by
a
the
sweet
end.
lady. I love her. I have great parents. You have bad parents. I'm very
Margaret.
lucky.
Maggie,
No, but
Christina,
just funny. I thought. No,
applesauce,
no, I wish.
Ned. Ned Beatty. What else we want to talk about? Chuck, throw in a topic,
Ned,
Chuck.
that's it.
Chuck,
You got
probably
it.
want to hear something. What are you thinking about? What's something you always wanted to know about old Mark and Joe? Something you always thought, well, what's going on with this? What do they think about this?
What about the baby coming out? What do I do? I mean, this thing's going to come out of her vagina. It's going to be screaming. It's going to be pink and gooey, and I'm going to throw it right in the garbage.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
All right.
It's gonna be just fine.
They say it's one of these things you got to just do. You got to figure it out yourself. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. You just got to get in there and get your hands dirty and touch its poo.
Well, it comes out, you're there, and then you touch it before that. Well, at the C-section, anyways. I had that thing before she did, which is crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got to introduce, and I sang "Happy Birthday" to him, which was sweet. That's
that's fun.
it was very nice, and those first few days, boy, it's tough because you're so fucking tired and
Right.
rocked, and then you bring it home, and you're like, "There's just a baby in my house, and they can die."
Oh, easily.
Like those first months or so, you can't have them on their stomach, you gotta have them on their back, you gotta wake up, and then it's so insane, the feeling of just being at home.
Right.
You're trying to sleep, and there's a fucking 3-day-old baby in your bedroom.
Crazy.
And you're like, it's terrifying.
How
But
did people do this in the woods in the 2000s.
I think they lost a lot of babies.
I think they must. A wolf grabs it, an eagle comes down and gets the talons on there, or just a roaming tribe's like, that'll be our kid now, fuck off.
Right, yeah, it's crazy, but you know, you'll do it. You hold it, you touch it, you let it know it's loved, and you keep it safe, you know, and then you go out, you make the money.
Yeah, all right. Did you guys see The Lost Children on Netflix? It's a crazy doc.
Was that about the bus? Where they put the bus under the ground?
No bus. No bus.
That was something like that. Was another documentary about kids on a bus.
I think that's Speed.
With the girl from the bus.
But no, it's about a guy, a mom. She's going to see her husband who lives across Colombia. And she takes a little single-engine Cessna. It crashes in the Amazon,
Oh,
Jerry.
boy.
The Amazon jungle. Vast, huge jungle. The mom dies. 4 kids. The pilot dies, the mom dies. 4 kids survive, and it's wild. 1 kid is 11. 1 kid's like 6, 3, and a 10-month-old in the Amazon.
This is a doc?
This is real.
Wow.
So then, this is when it gets crazy. I don't want to give too much away. So the military is like, we got to get these kids. They go right into the jungle. They start setting up tents. They're cutting shit down. They do a thing where they blast out the grandmother's voice from a helicopter going, this is Abuela. Stay put, kids. We're coming to find you, just to get a little morale.
Wow.
Then the kids, they're nowhere to be found. So they're like, oh, maybe they got killed. Maybe the wolf ate them, or a tiger, or a cougar, or a black panther. Then the indigenous people get wind of it who live in the jungle. I'm talking loincloth, spear, blackface. They're out there. They get wind of this. They hate the military. So they go, we're going to find these kids before the military.
Wow.
Fuck the military. It's kind of like Native Americans. You know,
Yeah.
they hate us.
This is like Bin Laden wanted to help Kuwait instead of us.
Yes.
And then we said, no, we'll do it. And then he's like, I'll show you.
So now the military is bouncing around the jungle, and the guy goes, not only we got one eye on the kids, and we got one eye on the indigenous, because they're going to stab us if they see us. So they're trying to find kids and not die.
Uh-huh.
And the indigenous hate the military. Like, if we see them, we'll kill them immediately. So it was fascinating. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to say what happens. But they're having so much of a hard time finding these kids. The indigenous go, let's all take ayahuasca.
Oh.
And then we'll have a premonition. And we'll
Like-
find the kids visually in a dream. And that's all I'll say. But you got to watch it.
No kidding. All right. I don't get to watch anything anymore, but I'll
Oh,
try.
yeah. It's fucking, and it's all real.
No kidding. Wow. All right. I got to get on there, but I got too many things back. This is the problem with the kid is that you're all backed up. I haven't watched a sporting event or a film or a TV show since 1985.
Well, you saw the Tyson.
I saw the Tyson, stayed up late. I was all whacked out the next day, but yeah, it's that's what's tough. But you go on the road, then you can watch a movie, or whatever, which is nice.
That's true. That is nice. Well, if you're up for a wacky roller coaster of emotions, put this on and the Tom Dustin doc.
I was watching the Carvel doc, New Orleans guy.
The Raging Cajun?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
that's on HBO. It's fun.
I watched the Christopher Reeves. Big mistake.
Yeah, no good.
Well, the whole thing's about the accident.
Well, he hurt his neck.
Superman can't walk. What kind of fucked up shit? What's next? Aquaman gonna drown in the tub? It's a great bit.
I was watching early Seinfelds the other day, and I love the way he goes, it's like he's Rubber Man. She goes, there's no Rubber Man. He goes, why do you think there's a Rubber Man? That was season 2.
Wow.
That show is just, have we talked about Seinfeld on here?
I don't believe we have.
That's a hell of a program.
Fantastic television show.
How fucking funny is that to have on a sitcom, season 2, episode 6?
Yeah.
Jerry goes, it's like he's Rubber Man. And Elaine goes, there's no Rubber Man. And he goes, why did I think there was a Rubber Man?
Why did I think there's a rubber band? That's
I
how
mean,
people talk.
Can you imagine pitching that to a network?
Forget about
How
it.
did they do it?
Network stinks.
Who are these people?
Svengali.
Jolly. He's got a cheerful hold over you.
Right,
Mental
right.
hold. All right, hit me with it. Sue, Betty, Elizabeth.
Wait.
Elizabeth.
You got
Liz.
it. There
Liz
it
Norman,
is.
Rick and Liz.
Yes,
That's what it was.
yes, there it
Rick
is.
and Liz. I knew it.
There you go. She's a big feminist.
Rick, Liz, and Eric and Mark.
You got it. Bert
That's
and
a
Ernie.
good family.
Now we got to get your sister's big ass. Huh.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Not that big of an ass.
Kathy,
Yeah.
Rachel,
Uh-huh.
Debbie too.
Ding, diddle, ding, 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 ding.
Oh.
No. You said Rachel, so I did the music.
Oh, I thought you were giving me a hint.
She's not
Jennifer,
Monica.
Phoebe, Smelly Cat.
Smelly cat, smelly cat.
Ross. No.
No. I know a woman named Ross.
No way.
Yeah. Patrick Holbert's wife.
Betty?
Betsy.
Betsy, sorry, damn it. Betty Crocker.
Betsy Ross.
Betty,
What'd she do? She just knit
Ford?
the flag? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that actually she's a hero. She's a knitter.
She knit the flag. Get
No,
out of here.
please.
Did she do anything else?
I think she blew him.
Is that it? She just
Well, he got head somewhere else, too.
did the flag? Who's
Yeah.
he?
Lincoln.
No, that's not Lincoln.
Oh, that's Mary Todd.
Mary Todd is Lincoln's wife.
That's
Betsy
what I'm thinking
Ross
of.
was just sewed up a flag.
Big whoop.
I want to see what Mary Todd wore to Lincoln's funeral. What are you looking up over there? Oh, but what did Betsy Ross do? She made the
She
flag.
made the flag.
Did she do anything else? Did she fight? Did she?
No. Not a thing. She was a knitter. Right? Knitter.
Did she?
No historical evidence to support that she sued the first American flag.
Oh, we should sue her.
No kidding. Sue Ellen Mishke.
She had an upholstery business.
All right, well, that's something.
She probably just hired some lady to do it.
Yeah, she got a Chinese person. She outsourced it.
Well, this is the thing. Women are so worthless. They have to make up, thing. Oh, well, we had Betsy. She's a hero. She did
Right,
something. Get
right.
out of here.
Yeah, well, with this documentary, all these men were volunteering to save these kids, and I go, where are the women? I was sitting with my wife, where are the women? The Bush women. And she was like, I guess you're right. I'm like, I thought we were all equal. Why aren't the women helping? The 11-year-old girl, she kept the kids going.
Well, girls, they're good with that stuff. They know how to,
Nurture.
they nurture.
Yes, mother, hen.
But I'm very nurturing. We have Sarah and I have opposite roles. I'm like the rocky nurture guy. She's the laugh. She gets all the laughs.
Yeah, boy, she had a clip today that was, I gave that a big fat like.
What was
The one
it?
about she edits all her videos, so she's leaving mean comments on her own clips.
Oh, that's funny.
That is gold.
She's good.
She's good. That's
Funny
special.
lady.
Give the special a plug.
Butthole Money. Check it out, YouTube. Executive produced by me. I did some great work on that thing. Oh, we got to wrap this fucking thing up. Well, let's get some plugs in here because I got some big, big things coming up. I think tomorrow or whatever day, Wednesday, tomorrow if you're listening on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I can't find anything. Oh, the Christ with it. I can't find it. Bob Euchre, funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
What's this come out? The 10th?
Yeah, 9. Yeah.
Whatever, the 10th, the 9th. Regs, Wednesday, still tickets available, I'm sure, at Gramercy Theater. Next Wednesday, Soul Joel's, baby. And if you're in New York City, come to Sesh. I'm starting a show there. Me, Mark, Karen, a couple other people. And January, Kansas City. January 9th, the Tom Dustin movie playing in Somerville. Of course, April 19th, the Wilbur Theater, Sunnyvale, California, Houston, Texas, Montreal on February 7th, Nashville, March 7th and 8th, Tempe, March 13th through the 15th, Acme, Minneapolis, April 10th through the 12th. Patreon's never been hotter, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh,
Marcus?
yeah. I'm all over the road. Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, Nashville at the Ryman. Got all kinds of fun dates popping up. I think I'll be doing something in Mass for the Christmas time. We always set up a secret show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and marknormancomedy.com. And I got a bunch of specials on my YouTube as well. Dan St. Germain just put one out. Chris Allen, Doug Key, Carmen Lynch, Andrew Youngblood, to name a few. So, yeah, check all that out. Queef it up. Get on the Patreon. It's popping. A lot of live stuff. A lot of behind-the-scenes queefs. A lot of anal. What do you got there,
Well,
PU?
Chuck doesn't have a mic, but look at this. Chuck texts fat dating app, plenty of dish.
Hey, I gave it a ha-ha.
That
That's
is
good.
very good.
Almost as good as Weighs a lot, but I like it.
No,
I like
plenty
it.
of dish is much better. He
All
should
right.
write for you. I mean, this is
Yeah, that's a good idea.
absolutely.
All right, so we got Fun Bearable. It's a big pod with Ray Harrington and Jeff Rohr, and it's a hell of a time.
Tell him Steve, Mike.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and all the podcast
course.
apps out there. And We've both been on it.
Oh,
We've had some
yeah,
hot
long
guests.
time
Doug Key,
ago.
the other guy.
I would never do it again. Crispin Glover was on recently.
Whoa! Danny Glover. All right. Well, there you go, folks. Check it out. Unbearable.
Fun
Thank
bearable.
you. Fun Bearable. It's on YouTube and podcast. So, yeah. Well, thanks a lot, folks. Get some Bodega Cat. We'll see you all in hell and praise
No one wants to be
Woo!
sad.